Hey guys, welcome to another vlog. Today's topic, the things that almost killed me. Our first story is when my family had just moved to Florida. I was like 4 at the oldest, and it was my first time seeing an actual pool. I didn't quite understand the concept of swimming. I thought you would just kind of float. So naturally, I jumped right in before, anyone could help me with that. And my vision went blurry, my lungs were burning, and luckily my sister dove in and saved my ass. It was actually quite embarrassing. I was stupid when I was little. The second thing, we were still living in Florida, and being that it was Florida, it was really hot, really humid all the time, even inside the house. But this one night it was actually nice and breezy, so what I wanted to do was keep my window open, but keep the screen down, just to, cool off my room a little bit, so I wouldn't, wake up in a pool of my own sweat. But what had happened when I was sleeping was my cat Nala, who's still alive today, actually. She's older than I am. For some reason, she wanted to go outside, which I guess is normal for cats. She pushed through the screen window, leaving this big gaping hole in it. And she went outside just to sleep under the car, which is... Cat's gotta do what a cat's gotta do, I guess. I don't know what goes through her little head. But the problem was, where we lived, there were, like, anthills everywhere. Fire ants. Everywhere. And with the screen window with a huge hole in it, they just kind of like, since there were a bunch of them like right under my window, they just kind of like crawled right in through the hole. So when I woke up, I was itchy as hell. And I tore the sheet off. There were hundreds of ants covering me and my bed. Now I don't know if you guys know anything about fire ants, but they are venomous. 1 or 2 little bites isn't gonna kill you. But when you have hundreds of them covering you, and they all start biting, that venom can do some serious damage. But hey, I didn't need to go to the hospital, so I guess there wasn't quite enough venom in me to kill me, so I was lucky. The next story, also in Florida. Come to think of it, I think all of these were in Florida. I spent most of my life there. A girl had invited me over, and I couldn't drive yet. I still technically can't drive, but whatever. So she invited me over, so I'd have to walk all the way down there, and it wasn't like a short walk. It was like a mile or 2, which in the Florida heat is quite a bit. So it was like, I think the heat index was somewhere around like 103 to 105, and it was very humid. So, I mean, the logical part of my brain is going, look, you barely know this girl, it's way too hot out, you don't own shorts, and quite frankly, you don't drink enough water. So there's no way I'd get through it. But being that I was a very young teenager, the dominant part of my brain, being the hormones, was just saying, when do we go? So we met up halfway. Apparently she wasn't interested in me, so I had to walk back. Yay. So on my way back, the heat started really getting to me. I started calling my friend Josh on the phone just to, like, keep myself conscious. And eventually, the heat just got to me, and I just kind of collapsed and started throwing up. Apparently, according to what the doctor said, my body had just about completely run out of water. And what it was doing to make up for that was taking the blood from my kidneys as kind of like a temporary fix. So the whole time I was doing that, while I was collapsed, I was peeing blood and puking blood a little bit, which was really embarrassing and disgusting. So what I did for another, I want to say 500, 600 yards, was I crawled most of the way down the side of the highway. Cars were just going by, no one's helping. One guy actually slowed down, pointed at me, and laughed, because he's a freaking dick. So, you know, no help. So when I got home, I was like, yes, finally, air conditioning. But we were in an apartment that was on the second floor, so I had to crawl up some stairs. So I'm like, yes, finally, air conditioning. Fuck! Stairs! So I started getting some water. I made sure not to drink it too fast. Apparently that's a thing. And eventually I got some IVs in me and, you know, I was good to go. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but when your body has little to no water in it, moving is one of the most painful things you can do. It was almost unbearable. But damn it, I got through it. I was stupid when I was younger. Then there was this time that I had a really bad fever. It was a temperature of, I think, it was between 105 and 107. And it went on like that for like a week. And it was weird. I was sweating, but I felt really, really cold. It was terrible. I mean, my mind was all floaty. I could barely concentrate. I'm just like, where am I? Fuck this. Went on like that for about a week. Then I finally asked my dad, hey man, can I go to the doctors? This is pretty suckish. So we went to the doctors, you know, they did some tests, you know, they checked the throat, they take a little blood, blah, blah, blah. They check your ears, and they went back. We were the only ones there at this point. I think there may have been one other patient in the next room. But, so, you know, they're putting it in whatever they put it in. You know, they're using their computers in the background and all that. And we had waited there for, I think, 2.5 to 3 hours for those test results. Meanwhile, I'm laying there going, kill me! And I think I know what the problem was, because after the doctor had left the room, you hear him talking to some of the nurses, you know, put these through the test thing, blah, blah, blah. And shortly after I'd heard the noise, that should have hinted to me this is gonna be a while. They were still using Dialup. I heard the Dialup tone. Who uses Dialup anymore? This wasn't that long ago. This was... I don't know, this was like 3, maybe 4 years ago. That's... Who uses Dialup? And they gave me some antibiotics, but they could never tell me what the hell was wrong. I still to this day do not know what caused that horrible fever. But I've heard that when your temperature gets to like, you know, 106, 107, that's usually a sign of like organ failure or something serious like that. So I thought I'd put that on the list. Kill me! And the last one, jumping back a bit, was back when I was very little, after the pool incident. We lived in this apartment complex that was, I guess it was meant for just adults, but a lot of people brought their kids there, and, well, the management always got mad at us for that, but screw them. So apparently one of our neighbors, one of our close-by neighbors, thought it'd be fun to have cobras as an exotic pet. Now, one of two things happened. Either the Cobra itself got loose, or it gave birth and one of the small little babies got loose and grew up in like our backyard. So I was coming home, I was walking across the field. There's a little field in between buildings. I was walking down the field, and on the pavement next to our back porch was a cobra. I didn't know what it was. I just told my parents, oh, it was one of those snakes with, you know, the weird flappy ears. And for whatever reason, there was the fight or flight response that's normal, mostly leading towards flight, because I was very, very little. I was like 5, 6, maybe. So, you know, I'm really nervous, I'm wanting to run, but then there's this other part of me. I'm never gonna see a cobra again. I want to pet this. And so I'm sitting there staring it down for like a full, what felt like 5-10 minutes, but really it was probably like 1 or 2. So I'm staring it down thinking, okay, I have a decision to make here. Run or risk my life petting? Thankfully I chose run, or else I would probably not be here. And I was not that far away from the snake. At any point, it could have just said, you know what, I'm tired of this shit, and got me. It was like 2 or 3 feet away from me, so it was well within its range. The conclusion is, I was stupid when I was younger, and it almost got me killed so many times. This was just like my top 3 or 4. So yeah, those are my stories. Like and favorite if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want to see more, and I don't know, leave some kind of response. Again, I'm not sure if we had video responses still. I don't think we do. Damn you, Google+. Damn you. So yeah, see you guys next time.